Last time we were talking about how marriage is God's idea, but marriage is also God's image. We read last week from Genesis 1:26 and 27. God created them male and female in his image. There was something about them being different yet similar and coming together two as one that created a more accurate reflection of the image of God than if Adam had just been by himself, or if Eve had just been by herself, or if separately they had lived independent, isolated lives. A man said to his wife one day, "I don't know how you can be so stupid and so beautiful all at the same time." The wife responded, "Allow me to explain. God made me beautiful so you would be attracted to me. God made me stupid so I would be attracted to you." Now, that's a really bad joke because the truth of the matter is, in this man and this woman who were literal people, but also examples and prototypes of the rest of us who would come later, joined together, God provided a reflection of himself for all his creation. Two incredible creatures, brilliant and beautiful, each unique, but together revealing deeper aspects of the intricate beauty of their creator. Truly, this was a work of art. Truly, this was God's masterpiece. And God is recreating works of art and masterpieces like that even today. We learned in Genesis that of all the things that God created, none is more meaningful than human beings. And men and women stand as equals at the apex of God's created order. We learn, as we read last week in Genesis 1, 26 and 27, that separately and distinctly from all other creation, women and men were designed to reflect God's image through gender, male and female. The thing we have to decide is whether we're going to believe this central tenet, because this is crucial. Did God create us special? And is one's gender purposeful, or are we all merely a random product of chance? If God created the universe, as Genesis says, then you are purposeful, designed, intentional, and God has put you here because he wants to achieve something in and through the gender that you are. And when we come together, male and female, we reflect more deeply something of who God is. And this is borne out in the New Testament as well. In Ephesians chapter 5, one of the longest, most commonly known passages on marriage in the Bible. But at the end of it, Paul wraps it up by saying in verse 31 and 32, "For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. This mystery is profound, but I am talking about Christ and the church." So even in our marriages, especially our healthy marriages, we are to reflect something of the image of God, but something also of the relationship that God has with his church. And men, I want to say to you, a little reminder here, and maybe even a little perspective check if you haven't thought this way before. Your wife is not just your wife. She is also God's daughter, which means that God is not just your father. He is also your father-in-law. Are you treating her accordingly? I like what Matthew Henry said. He was a Bible commentary and commentator and pastor who lived back in the late 1600s, early 1700s. He said, "The woman was made of a rib out of the side of Adam, not made out of his head to rule over him, nor out of his feet to be trampled upon by him, but out of his side to be equal with him, under his arm to be protected, and near his heart to be loved. I like that. And how did Adam respond to all this? He said, now this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. When Adam discovered that God had provided him with a partner like himself, but different, not like one of the other animals, he rejoiced greatly. And likewise, it's essential for every husband and wife to thankfully receive the mate God has given them as his best provision for us. And to do so, we must know and trust God's goodness. Our mate's differences are good things that God brings to us, that he will use as tools to shape us into the people he wants us to be, to make us more like Jesus. One of the things that sold me on marriage, because for some time, I was kind of against the idea for me, thought I could serve the Lord better, live for the Lord better if I were single. But what I came to believe is it's one of the greatest laboratories for learning self-denial, for learning unconditional love, for learning a persevering love that doesn't give up but endures. And I would say that parenting might be just as much a laboratory for that or more, but the two are amazing laboratories for making us more like Jesus if we allow God to work in us and through us and with us in our marriage relationship. Next time, we're going to talk about the fourfold purpose of marriage on Marriage Matters with McCracken.